Welcome back, everybody. As you know, Lucilius is only a couple days out, and I kind of wanted to give you everything you need to prepare, or things that you should be preparing or thinking about before Lucilius launches on the 13th for global, or for America, the Americas, and the 14th for Asia and certain parts of Europe, I believe. First and foremost, as you can see, it comes out on the 14th, but according to a number of server timers, bots, things that have informed me of the actual time, it should be releasing at 1 a.m. EST. That means that it's 10 p.m. PST, and then, man, I don't know, like 7 a.m. sometime in Europe. I apologize, but convert whatever 1 a.m. EST is to whatever time you like, or you can, again, join the different Discords and stuff and find out. The content that we're getting is the final vision, which it says right here that it's a new quest. However, based on what I've been hearing, and I guess kind of the thoughts behind some of the fights and where Lucilius is coming from, this boss appears to be more of like a raid, especially with the trailer or the sneak peek that we saw where he actually has a second form. Now, before I touch on that further, I do want to comment that, again, there is also some new content that is coming, including the paid content. So in terms of catching up, I will be talking about some things that you can prepare, but ultimately it looks like they've also given you the opportunity to catch up on your own terms if you want. I haven't really talked about the whole pack thing outside of what I mentioned on the initial, I guess, reaction video that I had to the patch and his announcement and his reveal. But long story short, I'm not a huge fan of pay to win for power, but I do understand that people have jobs, people have lives, so pay to convenience at some point kind of makes sense. It is the lesser of two evils in my opinion, but that doesn't really matter. It is what it is. Let's move on. As you can see here, though, we actually have been shown one of the things, maybe all of the things, some of the things that are going to be obtainable from the final vision that you can now trade for, you know, or trade at like the knickknack shack in exchange for new sigils. We have no idea what the sigils are actually going to be used for, but as you can see, it's Dark Residue and the Tears of the Apocalypse can be exchanged for a powerful sigil. What the sigils will do, I have no idea, but there's 3 new types of sigils, which is promising because, you know, it's something to do. Maybe they'll be kind of different. Hopefully they'll be more creative as opposed to just like a flat stat increase, because power creeping is not that cool in my opinion, as opposed to, again, adding more creative ways to play the game. Whether or not this debunks or I guess like puts away like the rumor or the thought of maybe Lucilius dropping gear, who knows? But at the time of my original recording, I had no idea that this was coming. Maybe, and even at the time of me recording this, maybe there'll be more information. It is what it is. It's cool though. They're, you know, giving us little crumbs for what to expect from Lucilius. That's great. Moving on. That being said, while we already know when the Lucilius fight is, taking a look at what the Lucilius fight is going to have is also really interesting, or, you know, going to be very helpful, especially if you're trying to progress through it or beat it or farm out the weapons day one. There's AoEs, as you can see on screen. There's kind of similar mechanics like AoE beams, or, you know, like an AoE circle that has extending AoEs that come out. There's like the color shifts or things that you have to break with lasers associated. Now, ultimately, you're probably going to wipe to a lot of these mechanics. Learning the mechanics is probably not as important, honestly, as just having a team that is willing to just sit there and learn the mechanics with you. They did show us the fight preemptively through the trailer, so if that's interest, or so if you do want to prepare, by all means, you can take a look at this trailer. We haven't seen what the second form is. Apparently, again, this is something that was introduced or is currently in the game for Granblue Fantasy, the gacha game. Haven't looked into exactly what the fight will be, and I don't know or think they would take too much from the gacha game where it's like almost copy paste, but it does look really interesting. Again, there's AoEs, a lot of things that you've seen from stuff like Blackworm or you've seen from Pieta. Nothing super revolutionary. That's what the Lucilius fight will be. Let's move on. So another thing that I want to bring up is this resource that was mentioned, or that was created by Marcus alongside Nenkai. I mentioned both of these creators, or these resource creators, I guess you want to call it, for Granblue, are these really helpful resources that they've added. And that's because if you're trying to catch up in order to do the Lucilius fight in a couple days, you probably want to max out all your characters. You want to get out like you know, max awakened weapons, or be level 100 and have, you know, max EXP books, I guess, in case if you want to level up new characters or you want to level up some of your weapons. But long story short, what I have for you are basically everything that you need to farm for prior to, again, the weapons being dropped. Now, ultimately, I'm assuming, or this is what the assumption, that the weapon drops as, you know, level 40 or 50 variation, and you're going to want to be max leveled in order to fight this boss. So with that being the assumption, the thing that's really cool about this resource link is that if you just click on any of these charts, so let's say I'm trying to upgrade Eugen, you can just click on this tab and it'll show you exactly, or it'll take you to the page in the resource Google Sheet that tells you exactly what you need in order to upgrade or awaken your weapon to max, or, you know, upgrade it, which is really cool. And again, if you're someone that's playing or that is starting out anew and you want to tune in for the Lucilius fight, because Lucilius is apparently a huge raid in Granblue Fantasy, and all like 130,000 of you guys that were in the stream were definitely popping off when Lucilius was there. I'm sure it will definitely be of interest for you to catch up or be able, you know, to do the fight. But while Marcus, again, was aided by Nenkai with the resource link, which is really cool, again, if you're trying to upgrade your weapon or catch up with your weapon. Or another thing that you can use in combination with the Google Sheets is, again, this Nenkai GitHub IO like drops page. Again, I cannot stress enough how helpful this page has been when it comes to drop rates, weapon materials, like curio stuff. Just remembering where anything is in the game and finding out like how likely it is to get resources on these things. I have a video that if it doesn't come out earlier or sooner rather than later, you'll see it soon enough that like pretty much talks about just how important this page has been for me recently. Credit all to Nenkai, but again, you should be using this page to find what materials you're looking for or find the odds, kind of calculate how much of whatever you need. And of course, you can use the in-game wish list tab, and that's totally fine. But before I talk too much just about, you know, some web pages and some resources online, because I've done this in the past, I do want to also give you a couple of benchmarks in case if you're curious about just how much EXP it takes or how many mastery points you need to level. The honest to God truth is that for some reason, there's nothing online to indicate how much EXP it takes to level up and stuff. And my best guess right now is that based on Vasaraga and stuff like that, it's something like 350 or like 375,000 EXP to level like at like level 99 or like 100 onwards. But like that doesn't really matter. The thing that actually matters is that if you were to level up, or if you're trying to level up using something like Slampede, which is a very common EXP stage, and again, leveling is not that hard to begin with, it does only take you about anywhere between 4 to 6 runs, 3 if you're really fast and you have stuff like Fast Learner, but it should take you no more than 7 or 8 runs, even in really poor situations or really poor setups, in order to get one of your characters level 100. And then furthermore, if you're trying to farm out masteries, which again is also really important if you're trying to catch up, to max out all of your masteries, it should take you anywhere between 30 and 60,000, depending on, again, the level of the character when you recruited them. I don't really know why they don't just like tell you in general or add all the stats together, but I decided, or I figured out, I did some research. I also, like, you know, was calculating it myself to see ballpark around how much mastery points you need to max out your weapon or max out your character, which of course those are the two important things: getting your masteries maxed and then maxing out your character level. But long story short, these are a lot of the things that I would consider looking into or pairing when it comes to the Lucilius fight. Of course, getting resources for all the characters or getting stuff like the Azurite Splendors for, again, like the new builds that you could be running is also really important. And of course, rather, before this video, there should be an Azurite Splendor versus, or a Slampede versus whatever video. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for Lucilius. I'm very excited, and I'm sure all you guys are as well, for the drop. I might be streaming it, but I'll definitely be running down like my first impressions or a guide to the fight as soon as it drops. I hope you guys enjoy that when it comes out. But again, that's all I have to suggest and advise you guys. For those of you that are looking forward to Lucilius, I will see you in a couple days when that fight comes out. I'm very excited for it. But again, thank you so much for everyone that watched. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, or if you want to support the rest of my content, make sure to check out the rest of my social links: Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, TikTok, etc. Make sure to like, comment, turn the notification bell, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Adios.